Aloha, it's Melanie. If there are any hearts open to receive and ears with a will to hear, eyes that will to see and to open, please continue. What I choose to share here is on the back of sitting with some really potent dreaming, listening and heeding the actual depth, that is a pun, through these waters that lead up to a full moon within this cycle. So 7/7 yesterday, I really found this creativity sparked anew within me. I especially had this surge to write and to paint and to birth and create, and so many visions came through, as well as a realization. So it feels pertinent to speak into the potency of sharing from the heart, of our wisdom, of our experiences, triumphs and fallibility. And it feels as if the subterranean is the vestibule of the freedom, the joy and the peace that comes from that place, that opens beyond the threshold and the vista. So it's this intent for this to reach into the hearts of those that it can help, as it equally helps me to speak into it through this share. I intend and I trust that this reaches those beyond what is spoken into an abyss or a void, and that's the grand mystery in action right there. So it'll land as it's meant to, and it's within the pauses and the stillness and the silence where there is peace. There is a pull, a call to action. And this is to connect justly beyond a cacophony of noise. Gee, that was a mouthful. And in the act of will to show up and to initiate with a clear intent, it is answered directly and succinctly through that vestibule of the subterranean. So that is what I'd like to speak into, and specifically unconditional love and silence and how they go hand in hand. And it's within the silence that I've found the deepest breath. It's a place of stillness where nothing is but the breath. And it's in this quietude, with this breath is bliss and peace. And on a tangent, which is relative to mention here, is the other day a friend called me to share with me an observation that she's had. And it's post her experience of a session that she'd booked in and had with me quite some time ago. She spoke into impact, which means collision or force. And due to the nature of language, I'm changing this word to effect, which means result. That just feels important to me. And the effect, the result, how significant it is, and what can result when we meet another heart to heart. Her phone call was to share with me her gratitude, and it really touched so deeply to receive her insight, because it highlighted for me the importance of unconditional love, and it met me in another bandwidth of where I've been in relation to this. Its significance on what's been alive and active in my current state in relation to finding my way, because it's actually ever present. It illuminates the way in which our intent literally meets the law of cause and effect through present state. So for that booked session that she came to me for, how the point of her purpose and her intent to connect with herself, in effect, was to resolve a physical issue that she'd had come up until that point. It had been a long-standing one for her, and from that moment that she chose to come and meet herself, it created space for a positive change to occur that was amplified by our unified energy of heart coherence and vibration of pure love, And that has given her since then resolve of that particular issue, which I may add, she has not had recur since the day that we came together and she chose to meet herself. So I'm really grateful to know that she's no longer experiencing what she was, even more so that she took the opportunity to share this realization with me. To take that moment to acknowledge the actions of pure intent, being led by the heart, to be in gratitude and to share. So, yeah, none of this would have happened without her depth of listening to her own inner wisdom, for she knew that in her choice it was to be a safe space, met with the resonance of love her body needed to shift the energetics of her previous state of being. So it simply met her in that initial space with unconditional love. And this highlights the importance of being as pure and clear as possible with the intent and harmonizing to create the vibrant state of being that one chooses to be in. And it's not to say either that we will never move through density. It's how we choose to meet ourselves in that, and how strong is our will to meet oneself with unconditional love, to meet the pain and to give it thanks for teaching and an opportunity to learn. So it's the change that can occur in another's life through unconditional love, and it's magnified when the intent is clear, clean, and pure. It's ignited a spark of hope, which is strengthened by the meeting in that place of deep listening, which comes through the silence. So, a meeting of unconditional love within the silence. And this love has such a depth of peace that cultivates a space where the ability to heal and transform can overcome trapped emotion, which is, in actual effect, energy in motion. So it's with this depth of love in its infinite expression where it transcends the limits and experiences as such that the gold can be revealed. Within every grievance, it's full of golden rays of light if we have a will to meet it. And even if it's like this skerrick of a glimmer, generally when the pain body speaks, it is speaking into where love has not been felt, with a trust that's been eroded, where challenges have brought about defeat, where walls go up to protect, and it brings about a false sense of the true self, and one of not being accepted by family and friends, and where there may be levels of rejection, betrayal, frustration, resentment. And it's through this deprivation of unconditional love that's compounded wounding and understanding through learnt experience that we're all alone. It can lead us to feel stuck or lost or helpless and hopeless, which perpetuates more of the same and creates stagnation. So the help that we seek is actually within us. And for some, this may be the hardest of all to grapple and to grasp onto of their own volition. And it's not been of their experiences or parameters of skill set along the way. So when a person does come into their own heart field and is present, it becomes obvious then to recognize signs and symbols along the way that were there to guide us and to help steer the ship per se. It can initiate other senses brought about by its absence of unconditional love and an inability to know how to receive or give this quality of love as it's so foreign. There would most definitely have been glimmers along the way And it pays to notice and recall these, because these signposts were there. There was simply an unknown ability to see clearly within the grit and the grime. So sometimes we couldn't see, or we chose not to, ready or not. When we consider that it is wholly and soulfully already innately inbuilt within, the layers of the hurt can then really begin to crumble and dissipate, and then we make choices to begin and rebuild anew. So I share this because I've had many experiences now where I've met with the internal, eternal mother, as I've come to know it within my heart, and she has given me the comfort when no other can, and it is exquisite. It's beyond our verbiage to describe its enormity. It is the purity of love beyond any human interaction, but has capacity to envelop the human self in all of its being. So when the heart opens to all of the teachers of life and can know they are actually our grandest teachers, especially those that were the hardest of all, is when forgiveness and gratitude for the most valuable lessons comes to light. The golden thread woven into the tapestry, that has a capacity to also ripple into the community through meeting ourselves and others. Be grateful for these lessons, for otherwise, how do we know if not for having had these life lessons to learn? I heard a story today of another that truly inspired this thread to speak into today. Though it has been brewing, this story that this woman shared, similar to mine in some ways, though it showed me the validation and the importance that comes from being able to come back into the heart no matter the adversity. It shone such a brilliant light on many other contributing factors that fill my heart with so much gratitude, and to be kind and make peace, and to know we are planted as seeds to flourish in the womb, birthed through a magnificent portal into the earthly plane. It's to remember the peace is within. I'm getting a bit emotional, sorry. There are mistakes and opportunities to choose again, most often than not. Go within. Do not fear the decision. Simply make the step. This has been my greatest teaching of late. So it's within the silence that guides. Like, this is where we commune with our guides. It's here that it is made known what the next step is to be. Now is the moment to be still and listen. How can it be known until we meet ourselves? And the answer's always there. A will to know without a doubt that whatever is chosen is absolutely perfect in this now. It is to be unconditional love, with gratitude to God, the creator of all. My intent is purely to share. Please do not mistake this to be your truth. If it isn't, I'm simply sharing from my heart to those with a will to get this far. So thank you. Truly thank you. I love you. And here is a little ditty, one that works for me because, intent and all. Divine Mother, Divine Father, by the convergence of the Holy Spirit in grace, be with my heart to open to mercy and forgiveness. I ask that you work through me to give and share unconditional love in all its divinity. Love, Melanie. Written and shared by me. It took me hours. from my heart to yours. Mwah. Thank you for being here.